Have you noticed through the evening, could you feel the hope arise in this room? Can you feel the faith arise in this room? I mean, this is why we came here tonight. We expect to encounter the Holy Spirit. We expect to receive the grace and the mercy, the empowering presence, the healing. This is the season of hope. This is the season of expectation. Today is May 20th. You know what 30 days ago was? It was April 20th, which was Resurrection Day. You know what 20 days from now is? Pentecost. Pentecost. You know what 10 days from now is? Ascension Day. We are right in the middle of the miracle. We are right in the middle of seeing God pour out once again. The thrill of Pentecost is the real, and not just the reminder, but the tangible expectation that Holy Spirit is about to pour out again. So we are at day 30. The title of this talk is The Promise of the Father and the Path to Pentecost. So, the story begins on the evening of Resurrection Day. It's in John 20, and the disciples are in the upper room, locked in for fear of the Jews. Jesus walks through the wall, and he says, "Peace be with you." This did not help their fear issues. They walk through the wall, and so Jesus, what does he do? He shows them the scars on his hands and on his feet and in his side, and he says again, "Peace be with you." And then John says, and then they were glad to see him. Now that they knew who he was. Now Lucas takes up this story in Luke 24. Because Jesus isn't done yet. He says, "Behold, I send the promise of my Father upon you, but tarry in the city of Jerusalem until you are endued with power from on high." Why do you think Jesus is making such a big deal about being endued with power from on high? Because what I didn't tell you in John 20, what he said to them, first of all, as the Father has sent me, I send you. And you are to go out now. And you are to go and preach the gospel and heal the sick and raise the dead and cast out demons and cleanse the lepers. Now it's your job. Taking on that job without the power of the Holy Spirit would be like charging hell with an empty squirt gun. I just made that up. Jesus knew they had to have power. Tarry in Jerusalem and wait till you receive power from on high. He didn't say how long, did he? It was completely open-ended. So this was on Resurrection Night. Now, so what's happening in this 30 days that we've just been through? Well, it tells us in Acts chapter 1. It also Paul tells us in Corinthians, I think it's chapter 15. But they both agree that Jesus appears many, many times. Paul says with many infallible proofs of Jesus' resurrection. And Paul talks about that he appeared to Cephas, and he appeared to the apostles, and then he appeared to the 12, and he appeared to the women, and then he appeared to 500 all at the same time. Tarry in Jerusalem until you receive the gift, the promise of the Father, the gift from on high. Till you receive, how did that go? The promise of the God, the promise of the Father, and power from on high. So I want you to imagine now, it's Ascension Day, so it's 10 days from now. And they all Jesus takes them out, and they're on the mountain. They see him ascend. And then the angels appear, right? And say, what are you guys doing here? Get to work. How many of them there were at the ascension? We don't know. We know that at least 500 saw him appear. So he's making a big stir in that region. And now they come back to the upper room. Now you and I know that from the ascension to the fall of the Holy Spirit was 10 days. All they knew was to wait till they received power from on high. Why is that important? It goes on to talk in Acts some more about all the people that were there and what they were doing. They're waiting for the promise of the Father. And they know what it's going to look like. It's going to look like power from on high. But what are they doing? Imagine, it's you and me. And maybe there's 400 or 500 of us in the upper room. We've all heard that we're supposed to get power from on high. But it's day 1. Nothing happened. Day 2. Still nothing. Can't you imagine people are starting to fuss and squabble with each other? Well, I got to get back to my work. I got a sick child or a sick parent I got to look out of. I've got fields to plow. I've got my business. Day 3 or day 4, I'm really getting tired of this. But by Pentecost Day, the number has whittled down to 120. How did those 120 survive that 10 days with no idea how long it would last? Can you imagine what it was like on day 9? Can you imagine day 9? I've had enough of this. I'm going home. The key that Luke gives us in Acts, he said this is what they did. He said they were there. They spent the time in prayers, in supplication, with Mary, in one accord. These are human beings with their own issues, their own faults, their own failings, their own grudges, their own resentments. I mean, think about this. Before Christ ascended, remember the 12 are on the seashore, and Jesus appears. He brings them to the charcoal fire. They all gather around, and Jesus asks Peter 3 times, with all the other disciples watching. He says, so Peter, do you love me more than you love these guys? He says, you know I do. 3 times that happens. Do you see the potential for bitterness and resentment, unforgiveness? Who are the 3 disciples Jesus always took with him for anything big, including the Mount of Transfiguration? Always Peter, James, and John. Can you imagine what that was like for the remaining 9? The reason I'm talking about this is that the Bible, Luke makes the point of saying they were in one accord. Remember what Brian just talked about? He talked about what the blocks for healing were. What did he say one of the biggest ones was? Yes, unforgiveness, resentment, bitterness, unforgiveness, rage, revenge, retaliation, all that stuff. It took him 10 days to get to a place of one accord. Each of us, each one of us, hello, each one of us, we're all waiting for the promise of the Father. What's your promise? Some of you guys know my story, you know, the promise I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the restoration of the relationships with my daughters. I haven't seen my grandkids since before COVID. The Lord is inviting me to be in one accord. It's my job to let all that temptation, right? Each one of us battles this stuff on a daily basis. My sense is, have you noticed that over the last 5 years, it's almost like there's a spirit of offense over this country. Everybody's so ready to be fussy with each other, to ghost each other and say, well, this is too much trouble. It's day 9, I'm going home. Each one of us is waiting for the promise of the Father. Each one of us is on this path to Pentecost. Tonight, I'm here to encourage myself. I'm here to encourage you. Don't go home. Don't leave on day 8 or day 9. Don't give up. Just like this sweet gal in the testimony we just saw. They didn't give up. With prayers and supplications in one accord in that prayer chain, right? With prayers and supplications in one accord. They persevered until Pentecost, until the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. When the day of Pentecost had fully arrived, they were all with one accord in that place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven as of a rushing mighty wind, and it filled the whole house where they were sitting. Then there appeared to them divided tongues of fire, and one sat upon each one of them, and they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in tongues. We're all waiting for the promise. We're all on the path to Pentecost. Right now we're at day 20. We got 20 days to Pentecost. But we are here tonight because we're not going home. We are here to approach the Father with thanksgiving, in obedience, and in belief. Think of that 120. First they had to believe that the promise was real. Then they had to obey. And then they had to stay. To hang in there with prayers, supplications in one accord. That's what we're doing here. That's what we're called to. And we will see the outpouring of the Holy Spirit. We will get to see our kids and our grandkids. We will get to see that brain bleed healed. We will get to see eyes healed. We will get to see livers and spleens and legs and arms healed. If you don't quit, you win. That's why we come here every Tuesday night. That's the promise of the Father. And that's the path to Pentecost. Don't quit. Don't go home. I love you guys.
Thank you for watching our video. Please pray for our ministry. If you feel moved to donate, please go to our website intercessorsofthetrinity.org. Look for the donate button or mailing address.